Godzilla x Kong, Guardians of Equestria. Written by Phantom Plus 1234. Chapter 1. Kong enters Equestria Uncharted area. Hollow Earth. The ground quakes as Kong slowly makes his way through the caves of Hollow Earth with Scudo following closely behind. One of the great apes had recently discovered a series of cave systems near the lair and notified him about them due to the unknown dangers lurking beyond. Now tasked with scouting out the area for potential threats, Kong continued to cautiously traverse the system with Scudo. Eventually the two came across an open area with a familiar-looking vortex with a whitish-bluish hue. As Kong took a step towards the vortex, Scudo reluctantly grabbed his arm and tried to pull him back while whimpering nervously. But Kong simply ignored his pleas and continued towards the vortex, battle axe in hand. As he approached the edge of the vortex, he tightened his grip around the handle before jumping in, leaving behind a concerned Scudo. Twilight's castle. Equestria Starlight quickly makes her way to the throne room where the rest of the element bearers. Twilight had summoned the group after the cutie map had seemingly and unexpectedly called for their aid. Upon reaching the throne room, they found Twilight staring at the map with a puzzled expression. Twilight, we came as fast as we could. Starlight gasped, trying to catch her breath. "Oh girls, perfect timing," said Twilight looking up at them. "You said the map called for all of us?" asked Applejack. "Well yes, maybe, I don't actually know," Twilight answered. "What kind of answer is that?" asked Rainbow Dash. "Well take a look," said Twilight waving them over. The group surrounded the cutie map as it seemed to flicker. The cutie mark of all 6 element bearers seemed to flash and change almost as if the map was trying to decide on a candidate. Twilight, is the map right?" asked Fluttershy. "That's what I've been trying to figure out. The map's never done this before. I asked Star Swirl if he could look into it, but even he seemed to have some trouble figuring it out," explained Twilight. "That's quite surprising. Normally someone as intelligent as Star Swirl would have no problem finding the answers to mysteries like this," said Starlight. "He's currently working with Sunburst trying to find answers, but I have a feeling even Sunburst won't know, considering that the map seems to be calling for all of us. This friendship problem seems really big," added Twilight. "Or maybe the map's just having trouble figuring out who can solve this problem the fastest." Pinky chimed in. "I don't think that's how it works, darling," sighed Rarity. As the 7 discussed amongst each other, they were suddenly interrupted by Sunburst and Star Swirl rushing into the room. "Pardon our intrusion, Twilight, are you here?" Star Swirl asked. "Star Swirl, did you figure it out?" asked Twilight. "Not yet, but never mind that now, we must hurry to the Hollow Shades," he exclaimed. "The Hollow Shades?" They all gasped in unison. "Is it the Pony of Shadows again?" asked Fluttershy. "No, this is something more strange. We've managed to detect some kind of strong energy source coming from that place," explained Sunburst. "Well, what are we waiting for? Let's move," said Rainbow. "Let the way," added Twilight. The group quickly rushed out of the castle, following after Star Swirl and Sunburst as they quickly made their way to the Hollow Shades once more. "Hollow Earth access point, glad you guys got here ASAP," Elin said, buckling up. "No trouble at all. I mean, it's not like you can just travel to Hollow Earth whenever you want, ain't that right, Bernie?" Trapper chuckled. "Yeah, but I'm surprised you actually agreed to let me go this time," he said, looking at Eileen. "You've already done this before, plus your skills really helped us out last time," said Eileen. "Guess we can't call you a kid anymore, huh?" He smiled, looking at Gia. "You can't say no to me anymore." Gia looked at her adoptive mother as she replied in sign language. "Well, we might need you for Kong," Eileen replied back in sign language as Gia smiled. "All right, buckle up, you beautiful people," Trapper said as he started up the hill. As everyone buckled up, the transport slowly began to ascend as the access point opened up in front of them. "Let's roll." With that, they headed up into the vortex as it made its journey down into Hollow Earth. "Hollow Shades, Equestria, well here we are," said Applejack. The group stops to catch their breath as they finally make it to the Hollow Shades. "To think that we'd end up having to come back here," said Starlight. "So what exactly is this energy source you were talking about?" asked Twilight. "I'm not exactly sure, but I know for a fact that this is where the energy is the strongest," explained Sunburst. "You all feel it too, don't you, in the atmosphere?" "Now that you mention it, the air definitely feels off," Starlight agreed. At the moment the ground began to shake, catching the group off guard. "What the hey?" Rainbow Dash yelped. "An earthquake." Applejack gasped. "Everyone stick together," Star Swirl ordered. The group huddled together as Fluttershy grabbed onto Starlight. Suddenly the ground where the Well of Shades was located began to sink as a massive vortex appeared beneath the earth. The group yelped and quickly began backing away as the vortex grew in size, eventually swallowing a huge chunk of the earth. The group quickly gathered their composure and turned towards the massive vortex as it glowed in a blue and white hue. Well, that was certainly a rude awakening, Rarity coughed as the dust settled. This is it. This is the strong energy source we detected. Sunburst exclaimed. What this thing? Asked Rainbow Dash. Twilight cautiously approached the edge and looked down. What is it? Asked Fluttershy. Looks like some kind of vortex, said Twilight. Although where it leads, that's a whole another mystery. Ooh, I like it, we should jump in. Pinkie giggled. I don't think that's a good idea, Sugar Cube, said Applejack. Hey, is it just me or is the thing glowing? Asked Rainbow Dash. But before anyone could answer, a giant ant suddenly emerged and latched itself onto the edge, causing the group to scatter and move back. What in Celestia's name? Applejack gasped. The group turned back towards the massive hand that emerged and noticed that it was adorned with a mechanized gauntlet. The gauntlet begins to emit the sound of mechanical whirring as the hand tightens its grip on the sides of the vortex, and before long a large creature covered in thick black fur emerges carrying a large bone with a jagged stone attached to it, made to resemble an X. As the creature stands up, its sheer size is put on full display for the group. Sweet Celestia, what is that? Rarity yelped. It looks like some kind of animal, said Starlight. Oh, look at how fluffy it looks. Pinkie giggled. The creature studies them as the group stares back in awe. It's just staring at us, said Rainbow Dash. It's not going to attack us, is it? Applejack. The group watches in anticipation, waiting for the creature to do something, but much to their surprise it simply lets out a low groan before slowly walking off in a random direction, the ground shaking beneath them with every step. It didn't do anything. Asked Sunburst. Maybe it's not the aggressive type, suggested Fluttershy. But with its sheer size it's certainly not safe to let it just wander around, said Starlight. I agree, we should follow it and see what it is for the time being, suggested Star Swirl. Should it start getting violent, we may have no choice but to fight it off. With it, the group quickly follows after the creature in hopes of studying its behavior and figuring